To my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors built the cities. They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry.
You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I watched as countless people across the United States venerated Charlie Kirk as a martyr and warrior for the Christian faith. The initial wave was full of hype, and there were way too many opinions on how Americans should have handled his death. But as the memorial service unfolded, it became clear the event wasn't about grief. It was a disturbing religio-political rally, and beneath the surface of the eulogies, there was a heavy cloud of dark energy and white supremacist talking points that were deliberately inserted. From Kash Patel vowing to meet Charlie again in Valhalla, and Stephen Miller's mention of a dragon being awakened, I realized that this bold display of coded nationalist rhetoric was rooted in Norse mythology, wrapped in white evangelicalism. Stephen Miller's fiery eulogy was an apocalyptic battle cry. He anchored the legacy of Charlie Kirk in a lineage that goes back to Rome, to Monticello, Athens, and Philadelphia. These phrases, Valhalla, Rome, the dragon, work in concert, and are white nationalist dog whistles that define Western civilization through a European white lens, while completely erasing the contributions of all others. He disregards the blood, sweat, and tears of the African slaves that built the structures and buildings in this country, the Asian immigrants that built the railroads, and all other non-white individuals who contributed to the greatness of the United States. He spoke of awakening an army and a dragon, words designed to normalize the idea that they are an organized, righteous fighting force preparing for a final violent conflict, very similar to the biblical narrative of the god Yahweh fighting the chaotic sea dragon Leviathan. This notion of belonging to a righteous elite who have earned the right to wage this sacred war is formalized in insignia, where ancient Norse symbols become the white supremacist equivalent of an elite diplomatic honor. The goal of Charlie Kirk's memorial was to desecularize the political fight by wrapping it in the language of ancient myth and Christian nationalism. They are providing spiritual justification for political extremism and attempting to transform a political movement into a sacred one. To understand the significance of this spiritualized status, consider the following example. The Order of St. Michael and St. George is a British honor that was historically awarded to diplomats and officials for distinguished foreign service, signifying their elite status and commitment to the crown. The order's badge itself depicts the Archangel Michael crushing a dark-skinned Satan or demon, a clear, powerful visual of absolute racial triumph and divinely sanctioned subjugation. The co-opted Norse symbols function the same way. They are the white supremacist insignia of commitment. The movement steals symbols precisely because they are potent, reducing a vibrant, complex Norse culture into a crude prop for a racist ideology. The Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, originally a symbol of protection, is worn by neo-Nazis as an aggressive declaration of allegiance to an exclusively white, pre-Christian faith. The Voknut, knot of the slain, a symbol historically associated with Odin and the fallen, is deployed as a visual signal of martyrdom and a willingness to die in the so-called racial struggle. Runes, particularly the Oldo rune or Othala, which means heritage or inherited estate, are used to represent the political goal of an Aryan ethno-state. The use of runes by modern neo-Nazis is a nod to the Nazi SS, who wore the symbol on their uniforms. Every time an individual uses one of these coded terms or imagery, it validates this historical theft and normalizes the alt-right's twisted narrative.
Yeah,
I was raised well.
Yes, you have a great mom.
Great mom.
Great parents.
My grandparents were amazing.
Fiercely right-wing.
Yes. My grandfather was an immigrant from Sweden and fought in World War II and the Korean War. Yeah, and he got the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and knighted by the King of Sweden, and he was always super far right.
Do you think having kids made you more?
This brings us to the spectacle itself. The damsel in distress, the warrior's widow, the conservative Barbie, Erica Kirk. Her entrance brought an almost theatrical quality to the entire memorial. The performative nature of Erica's mourning, the WWE-style entrance, she was, in many ways, the perfect visual symbol of the racist ideology. Her message of forgiveness for the shooter reframed her husband as a martyr who died while trying to save the lost ones of the Western world. This rhetorical move cemented the narrative of a righteous conflict and made her the grieving queen. The mention of her Swedish grandfather reinforced the specific Nordic ancestry, the imagined racial and geographic lineage that the movement claims ownership over. In their eyes, Erica is the visual embodiment of the Aryan heritage their sacred war is trying to protect. This entire memorial was a condensed lesson in how the alt-right uses coded language and emotional spectacle to recruit and normalize its ideology. The challenge for us, as we strive to be reasonable in this strange world, is to move past the spectacle and deconstruct the code.